So buying an Apple laptop can be a tough decision because you have to know all the main differences between all the different models, the MacBook Air, and the MacBook Pro. Well, in this video, I'm gonna help you out and break it down into simple explanations and go over each model so you can find out which one is best for you to buy in 2019. The good news is that even though Apple laptops are on the expensive side, you do get what you pay for. They're all very high quality. All of them come standard with a solid state drive and at least 8 gigabytes of RAM, which make for a good foundation for quick performance on a laptop. So let's get right into it and start with the first MacBook model, the 12-inch Retina MacBook. So this is Apple's 12-inch Retina display laptop, and it comes in two different configurations starting at $1,299 and $1,599. And it comes in three color options: gold, space gray, or silver. It was last released in mid-2017, so it's currently the oldest of all the Apple laptops. It has a Retina display with over 3 million pixels, starts off with 8 gigabytes of RAM, can be configured up to 16 gigabytes, and it comes with a 256 gigabyte solid state drive, which can be configured up to 512 gigabytes. Only a small certain group of people will be best suited for the 12-inch Retina MacBook. So if you meet any or all of these following conditions, then consider getting the 12-inch Retina MacBook. If you want a laptop that's ultra portable and mobile for on-the-go travel, this is currently Apple's thinnest and lightest laptop, right at 2 pounds, and it also has the smallest screen of any current Apple laptop at 12 inches. So if you prioritize the thinnest and smallest and most lightweight, this one is the best option. Also, if you only run basic applications, nothing too CPU dependent, because the base model comes with a mobile processor, unlike the other Apple laptops which come with a normal processor in them. This one has a mobile processor, so it's not designed to run hardcore apps, just your basic web-based apps and maybe some Word docs, stuff like that, web browse. Nothing too crazy. Also, if you're mostly wireless, so if you use a lot of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi enabled devices that don't use cables very often to connect things to your laptop, because the 12-inch Retina MacBook only has one USB Type-C port. That's all. Other than a headphone jack, that's all it is. And last but not least, if you're not planning to use the webcam for video recording, because this has the worst webcam out of all the Apple laptops at 480p resolution, it's not even 720p. So it'd be fine for FaceTiming your grandma, but nothing for if you're planning on recording videos. Definitely don't plan to use the webcam that's built onto the 12-inch Retina MacBook. So bottom line, the 12-inch Retina MacBook is designed for mobility and travel and on the go, and people who are doing basic things, maybe just like email, web browsing, things like that. So moving along to the next model, which is the 13-inch MacBook Air. There's no longer an 11-inch MacBook Air. There used to be, no longer. They took that away. It's now only 13-inch MacBook Air models. So the 13-inch MacBook Air comes in three different configurations, starting at $999, $1,199, and $1,399. It comes in the same colors as the MacBook, the gold, space gray, and silver. It starts with 8 gigabytes of RAM, can be configured up to 16 gigabytes, and it starts with a 128 gigabyte solid state drive, configurable up to 1.5 terabytes. And with the MacBook Air, you have two main versions: the older standard display non-Retina version and the latest Retina display version with Touch ID, the latest generation keyboard, and a Force Touch trackpad. So the non-Retina MacBook Air is not going to be for too many people. If you meet the following two conditions, consider getting the non-Retina MacBook Air. First, if you have the lowest budget for a new Apple laptop, since this is the most affordable Apple laptop out of all the current models, starting at that base $999, because that base model is the older version. It doesn't have a Retina display, doesn't have the newer features, doesn't have the newer performance, so that's why it's the cheapest. So if you have the absolute lowest budget but still want a new Apple laptop, you pretty much have to go with the non-Retina MacBook Air. And then number two is if you want the widest variety of ports, of legacy ports, because the non-Retina MacBook Air has the most variety of legacy ports. It still has the USB-A ports, and it has an SD card slot, and I think it even has the MagSafe connector. Now moving on to the Retina, the new Retina MacBook Air, consider getting the 13-inch Retina MacBook Air if you meet any or all of the following conditions. If you care about battery life over absolutely everything else, the Retina MacBook Air has the longest battery life out of all the current Apple laptops, up to 13 hours of use. If you want the small, thin, lightweight design similar to the 12-inch MacBook for travel and on-the-go work, but you need the better performance and features like the louder speakers and the better webcam, since this one has a 720p HD webcam compared to the 480p webcam on the 12-inch Retina MacBook. If you want the best display without going up to a Pro model and spending more money on a Pro model, the Retina MacBook Air actually has over 4 million pixels and has a higher pixel density than the Retina 12-inch MacBook. Also, if you just want the latest MacBook model, the Retina MacBook Air is the most recent release out of all the current Apple laptops. It was released in late 2018. Also, if you're okay with just having 2 USB-C ports for the entire laptop, that's all it has on the Retina MacBook Air. And last but not least, if you want the most environmental friendly Mac ever made, the Retina MacBook Air is actually made from 100% recycled aluminum, which is pretty cool. So the bottom line for the Retina MacBook Air is if you prioritize travel, you want something thin, lightweight, small, but you want better performance compared to the Retina 12-inch MacBook, the Retina MacBook Air would be a great choice. And last but not least, the final MacBook model is the MacBook Pro. This actually comes in a couple different configurations, and we'll go over them real quickly so you can figure out which one is best for you. So the MacBook Pro comes in 2 different colors, silver or space gray, no gold option for the MacBook Pro. Comes in 2 different screen sizes, 13-inch and 15-inch. The 13-inch starts at $1,299 without the touch bar and $1,799 with the touch bar. The 15-inch with the touch bar starts at $2,399. All the MacBook Pro models, 13-inch or 15-inch, they have the following in common. They all have IPS Retina displays. The 13-inch actually has a higher pixel density than the 15-inch. The 13-inch has 227 pixels per inch, while the 15-inch has 220 pixels per inch, and they all have up to 10 hours of battery life. They also have all new 8th generation Intel processors, up to quad core on the 13-inch model and up to 6 cores on the 15-inch model. If you meet any of these conditions, consider getting one of the MacBook Pro models. First, if you value productivity and performance over absolutely everything, as the name implies, these are Pro models. They're built for professional type work. So if you're doing things that require fast speed, high specs, quick performance, the MacBook Pro models are going to provide that for you. The MacBook Pros are the fastest and best performing laptops out of all the Apple laptops, of course. Obviously, the 15-inch has the best specs out of all the MacBook Pro models. Got to get the 15-inch if you want the absolute best and fastest. The 13-inch MacBook Pro, I own the 13-inch MacBook Pro, and I believe it is the best balance of portability with performance. So if you still want to be able to travel, you want something that's small, you don't want that big 15-inch laptop, you want a 13-inch laptop, but it still have good performance, the 13-inch MacBook Pro is great for that. If you need the most internal storage, you gotta go with one of the MacBook Pro models. The 13-inch MacBook Pro has a 128 gigabyte solid state drive, but can be configured up to 2 terabytes, and the 15-inch has a 256 gigabyte solid state drive, which can be configured up to 4 terabytes. Also, if you want the best and brightest screen and speakers out of all the Apple laptops, you gotta go with the MacBook Pro. All MacBook Pros have 25% more colors than standard RGB, along with 500 nits of brightness. The touch bar models have True Tone technology, where the white balance automatically adjusts to match the color temperature of the light around you. And besides the display, it also has high fidelity audio. Also, if you often multitask and have multiple applications open at the same time that use a lot of RAM, MacBook Pros can be configured up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is a lot. Also, if you run CPU intensive or graphics intensive applications, like we just talked about, professional type work like photography or coding or HD or 4K video editing, 3D graphics, and certain gaming. Obviously, for the best graphics performance, you gotta get the 15-inch, which has a dedicated Radeon Pro GPU with up to 4 gigabytes of memory. Also, if you don't mind, having that bigger laptop like we just mentioned, the other Apple laptops like the MacBook Air and the 12-inch Retina MacBook, their main features are their size. They're small, compact, lightweight. Of course, the 15-inch MacBook Pro is bigger, bulkier, heavier because it has that performance packed inside of it. So a 15-inch MacBook Pro isn't the most travel friendly. And last but not least, if you have a large budget, the Apple MacBook Pro, any Apple MacBook Pro, it's not cheap by any means. They're pretty expensive. And I think the most expensive configuration for a 15-inch MacBook Pro can be over $7,000, which is crazy. Obviously, you can get a MacBook Pro without all those options and still get a really good laptop. So I hope that helped you out and gave you a better understanding of which Apple laptop is best suited for your needs and how you intend to use it. Whether you choose a 12-inch Retina MacBook, a Retina MacBook Air, or a MacBook Pro, let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions, or let me know which MacBook model you're getting after watching this video if it helps you decide. I'd love to hear which one you're getting and what you tend to use it for. So leave a comment down below if this video helped you out. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this in the future. My name is Andy, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.